Hi class, welcome to Computer Science 372, Programming 2. My name is Russ Frith. I'll be your facilitator for the next 8 weeks for this class. The first module programming assignment deals with a very modest implementation of inheritance, and I thought I'd give you a few hints on how to proceed with the banking account project. I'm assuming that you guys are going to be using Eclipse, although it's not required. I would prefer that you do use Eclipse because it is a very complete development system that supports debugging and that programming, hence that could assist you with having to troubleshoot complicated programming issues. So let me launch Eclipse and let's get started with issues with Module 1. I think there may have been a couple of semantic errors in the program specification. So use this video as clarification on what the expectations are for this particular option. All right, let me get rid of this. Now, with Eclipse, if this is your first encounter with it, assuming that you already have it installed on your computer, first thing we want to do is let me get rid of this if I can. Let's delete this. Where's the delete? Can I delete? Will it let me? Yes, there we go, delete. Okay. All right, so file, new Java project. Okay, let's call this bank account. Okay, and let's put it in a folder, my CSC 372 folder in my documents. Let's see, this isn't 320, this is 372, and module 1. And let me make a new folder, called it project or program. How's that? Okay. All right. So we'll put it here. And so this will be the folder where Eclipse will put all of the files associated with this bank account project we're building. Anything else? Let's see. Yeah. And so I hit next, and there's nothing much that needs to be changed here. Also, notice one thing here. Let me see something about other issues. Okay, this looks good. Hit next again. Okay. All right. Yeah, so I think we're good to go. And so what Eclipse will do is create this particular project for you. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to highlight source, and I'm going to create the file for main. As you know, every Java program must have a main method. So let's go ahead and go File, New, Class, and let me call this class Account Demo. Account Demo. Okay, and what else do we have here? Yeah, I'm going to make it public. What else? Oh, and look at where it says package. What I'd like for you guys to do this term is to use default packages. I would prefer that you not put in specific path names for your packages, because when you do that, then I have to go into my computer and create the folders and all the structures that you have. It's a lot easier for me to grade if you just use default. And that way we'll let Eclipse resolve all of the linking issues associated with the multi-file projects that we'll be developing. So just leave this blank. Our main method, of course, will be public, and we'll go ahead and hit finish. And so here we go. Since Module 1 requires interactive input, we'll have to use the scanner package, right? The scanner methods. So import java.util.scanner, because we're going to be prompting users at the console for inputs. Here's our class, and so forth. Okay, and this will be where our main resides. So I'll go public static void main. Oops, string, if I can type. Sorry, I can't type very well. String args. Okay, so you probably picked up on this fundamental aspect of Java programming in your Programming 1 class or equivalent thereof. All right, so this will be the main. Now, in the program requirements, we were required to have what? A super class, right? Checking my notes, super class called bank account. All right, so let's create the super class bank account. Now, I would like, although now you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing here, but To make things neater, tidier, my superclass, for my superclass, I'm going to go ahead and put it in a different file rather than combine it with the same file that my main resides in. So I'm going to go ahead and go once more, a new class, okay, and I'm going to call it bank account. And this will be my superclass. And if you have any questions about what the definition of a superclass is, feel free to post in Module 1 discussion forum, and we can talk more about that. All right, so here's my public bank account superclass. The name is empty. Oh, sorry, I put it in the package field. I should put it in the name. Yeah, watch out. It's kind of a lot of details that you have to address going through this interface. Okay, so bank account, not package, but bank account is the name of the class, public class. All right, so here we go. All right, so here's my bank account class, and I'll just leave it empty for now. Okay, and then um, that will be the super class for what? A checking account, right? Okay, so checking and savings accounts ostensibly. Oh, okay. Well, we'll go ahead and create it. Do we have a savings account? I'm not sure if we have a savings account, but we'll figure that out as we go along through this video. All right, so um, new class, and this will be for checking account. So checking account. All right, so finish. All right, so now we have three different files. Okay, superclass banking account, subclass checking account, and then the main class account demo. All right, so now that we've got a project all set up, all we have to do is plug in the details, right? And that is essentially your task. So let me save all in case I mess things up. All right, okay, so let's go to main and figure out what needs to go into our main method, or our main class that is. First of all, we need storage. Okay, first of all, we'll need storage for our accounts. Okay, so how many accounts do we want to manipulate in this program? I don't know, say 3. Okay, so let's um, let's create our accounts. And I do believe in commenting your applications thoroughly, so please do that. And I'll talk more about that later this week about documentation that I would like to see in your programs. So, like I said, we essentially want to manage 3 accounts. Accounts size. So I'm going to declare a global variable or a variable, a final variable, which says that this program will use a total of 3 accounts. And now, no, I don't. That's surprising. Okay. And then now we want to create our checking accounts. So to create an array of classes, of checking account classes, okay, it's done the same way as any other primitive type array allocation. So let's call them accounts. So this declaration that I have just typed out is an array of checking accounts, where checking account is the checking account class. And that will of course be new checking account, and then the number of accounts, like I said, will be accounts size. Now, the reason why I did it this way is because if any point during the lifespan of this application, um, there's a potential that you may want to increase the number of accounts that you manage. And so the only thing you will have to do for the entire program is just go into this variable declaration here and reassign it a different value. Say if you want 10, you can plug in 10. And this will be the only place in the whole program that you'll have to modify that value. It's probably not a very good idea to hardwire your dimensions, hardwire your array sizes here. It's better to declare your array sizes as a variable and then allocate it that way. It promotes modularity and easier maintenance for your application. Okay. All right. So now, all right. So now we need to prompt users for data, right? So this is where our scanner comes in. So we'll do a scanner in equals new scanner system.in. Okay. So this is the mechanism we use to ask users for data. system.in. Sometimes the Eclipse IDE tries to outwit you, so always be careful. And then, okay, and now we need strings for the first name and last name of an account holder. So string, so F name will be our first name, and then L name will be our last name. Okay, so we have two strings for users. Okay, now for our checking account class. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to populate this array right here with instances of a checking account class. Okay, since this is an array of objects, we need to allocate storage for each element of the array. So can we do that? Well, we can use a loop. So for int I equals 0, I less than accounts dot length, okay, I plus plus. So this loops through each element of the array, and each pass of the loop we have to allocate storage. So accounts I equals to new checking account, right? And then I believe in the specifications you have to set an interest rate. Okay, all right, so to set an interest rate for a particular account, we need to go into the checking account class, right? Okay, so we need something like this. Here's what I mean. So accounts I dot, we need something like set interest rate. And let's make it say 0.75%. Okay. All right, so notice that we haven't defined this method set interest rate. And so it has to be done in the checking account class. So let's go to the checking account class and figure out what we need for this. Okay, in our checking account class, we need an interest rate. Well, okay, now one thing I would like for you to accomplish this, for this class is whenever you have variables for a particular class, I'd like for you to make them private. Okay, so and this supports an aspect of object-oriented programming called encapsulation. So the interest rate for a checking account will be a private variable. Now, how do we set the variable? Since it's private, how do we set it in our main method? Well, we use what's called a setter method. And it's done like this. Public void set interest rate. And then we'll pass to it the interest rate. Okay. And now this dot interest rate is equal to rate. Okay, so this is how we will set values for private data in our classes. We declare all of our data in a class private, and then we use a setter method to set the value. So now we go back to our main, and it should resolve, and it does. Okay, so we set the interest rates for our checking account. And then we need some sort of reference for our account. So I call it basically account ID. So okay, so let's see here. Now one thing about a checking account, okay, one thing about a checking account is we know that a checking account inherits from the bank account superclass. And so the way we deal with that is that we extends bank account. Okay, so we do this. So notice that the checking account extends bank account, and this means that the checking account is a child of the bank account class. Now, of course, we have, for this particular program, we have two different kinds of accounts. We have savings account and we'll have checking account. So how do we distinguish between the two different types of accounts? Well, one way of distinguishing one account from another is that we can give each account an account ID. Now you don't have to do this in your program. I just do it um, as a way of accessing or checking on a particular account. So uh, I'm going to go ahead and use the text package because I'm going to have some text processing to be done later. But anyway, what I'm going to do in my bank account class is I'm going to assign each account private int an integer ID, and this will become apparent more later. And then, of course, what else do we have about? Uh, what else do we need to know about accounts? We need to know the balance, right? Well, an account balance is always a double, right? Because it's dollars and cents, right? So we'll have account balance, and then of course each account must be affiliated with a first name, the account holder's first name, and each account must be affiliated with an account holder's last name. Okay, and notice again that all of my variables um, are private. Okay, so for now I need what to get and set an account ID. So um, to set an ID, to set the value of the account ID, I'm going to go public void set account ID, and I'm going to pass in an integer. Okay, and so we're going to say this dot account ID is equal to A. So there we have our set. Now, okay, so let me go back to this. The reason why I included this package is because when we display the balance of an account, we would like to format it in dollars and cents in currency format. And if we have a negative balance for our account, we would like to be read and the dollar amount or the deficit amount be enclosed in accounting type format. So more on this later. This is a fancy thing that's not in your text, but uh, we'll discuss this more. Okay, so are we good with setting the account identifier? Yes, we are. So file save all, and let's see if there's anything else. Okay, if we set the interest rate, set the ID, yes. So let's go accounts I dot set account int, and let's reference each account. Let's give each account an integer value starting with 1. All right, so now we need to prompt for the account holder's first and last name. So let's go system dot out dot print enter first and last names of account holder for account number. Okay, so we need to enter the account holders for which account. So let's go string dot value of plus 1. Okay. All right. So this will basically prompt you or display a message saying enter the first and last names of account holder for account number, whatever, blah. And that should be value of. Notice that when I make a typo, a syntactical mistake, there's a red underline that indicates an error in my code. So see how I resolve that. Okay. All right. So now we're ready for intake of the name. So first name is equal to n dot next. All right. This will intake our account holder's first name for a given account. And then, so now we go accounts I dot, well, we need to set the first name, right? So where does the setting of the first name happen? That occurs in our superclass bank account. So notice that first name is a private, so we need to have a setter method for first name. So public void um, set first name string fn, and then we'll go um, first name is equal to fn. Okay, so that means that this particular class in the array is taking on this first name. And then of course, while we're here, we can go ahead and do a last name, right? Set last name string ln, and then last name equals ln. Okay, I say frequently because I'm not sure how reliable my computer is. Okay, save all. All right, so back to our input of data. So now we're inputting the first name for our account, for this particular account. So accounts I dot what? First name, set first name, that is. So accounts I dot set first name, and that will come from fname. All right, and then we need to prompt for the last name. So lname is equal to n dot next, and then we'll go accounts I dot set last name, and that will be lname. Okay, so we've input our account ID, first name and last name, and so forth. Okay, all right, and then all right, so we have this program so far. Now, other things about the superclass bank account. Now, one thing we must always do with a class is that we need a basic constructor, right? A constructor that initializes data. So in this case, we don't have any particular data to initialize other than, say, the balance. So since this is a new account, whenever the bank account class is allocated, we want to initialize the deposit to 0. Okay, so we can say balance equals to 0. So this is our initialization for our bank account class. Okay, what else? Okay, so we'll talk more about account balances and adding and subtracting accounts later, but let's just see what we've got now. So let me save all. Now, since I'm using the scanner package, basically this is a console application. All right, so let's go ahead and launch our application. Oh, no recent launches, so I have to go where to here. Let me save all, and let's see what happens. Yeah, so you have to launch your application from the main. So notice the prompt: enter first and last names of the account holder for account number 1. So let's go Russ Fripp. Okay, and now it prompts me for the second account holder. What else? What can we do here? So account number 2 will say Joe Smith. Okay, and then for account 3 we'll go Jane Doe. Okay, and so since we only deal with 3 accounts, we've just loaded and stored our 3 accounts. All right, so this is how you would. This is the start of your bank account program. So we'll continue more of this discussion at another time. Okay, all right. Oh, and if you have any questions about what I did, or if you have any questions about the Eclipse environment or about this class in general, feel free to post in the Module 1 discussion forum this week. And if there's anything you have concerns about, or if this lesson or this note, this video appears too complicated for you, please post as well. And I can zoom in on some details, and I want to make sure that everybody understands what just happened. And if you don't, let me know, and then we'll go back and we'll make sure that you do understand before moving to the next step, because this is a very important topic, and the rest of the class will depend on your understanding of this. Okay, so we are done.